Alright, let's just be real for a second. You had a picture in your head, didn't you? A dog and a cat, curled up together on the couch. Maybe in front of a fireplace. The dog's head is resting on the cat's back, and everyone's just peaceful and happy. It's the dream. I know it because I hear about it every single week from people who write into us. And then reality shows up. The cat is wedged behind the washing machine. The dog won't stop barking. You haven't slept properly in 3 days, and you're Googling how to return a dog at 2 in the morning. Sound familiar? Here's what I need you to hear right now before anything else. You haven't made a mistake. You haven't broken your household forever. What you're dealing with is completely, 100% normal, and there is a way through it. I've seen animals that were complete chaos together eventually become absolute best friends. I've watched it happen dozens of times. But it doesn't happen by accident. It happens because someone had a plan. Today, I'm giving you that plan. Welcome to Evergreen Paws. I'm going to walk you through what we call the new roommate protocol, a 4-step process for introducing a dog and a cat in a way that actually works. And stay with me until the end, because I'm going to share a specific tip about your home's layout that most people completely overlook. It's one of the biggest reasons pet introductions fall apart, and once you hear it, you won't be able to unsee it. Let's get into it. Before we get to the steps, I want to spend just a minute helping you understand what's going on inside your pets' heads. Because the more you understand the why, the better you'll be at reading the signs along the way. Dogs and cats aren't naturally enemies. That's a myth. What they are is two animals with completely different social languages. Dogs are pack animals. They're loud, they're forward, they use their whole body to communicate. A dog rushing toward a cat isn't necessarily being aggressive from the dog's perspective. It might just be saying hello. But from the cat's perspective, a big creature is charging at them at full speed. That's a predator. That's a threat. The fight or flight instinct kicks in immediately. Cats, on the other hand, are solitary hunters. They like to observe before they engage. They need to feel in control of their environment. When a new animal shows up in their space, especially one that's larger and louder, it doesn't just scare them. It destabilizes their entire sense of security. And an insecure cat is either going to run or lash out. So when you see your cat hiding and your dog going berserk, that's not failure. That's two animals doing exactly what their instincts are telling them to do. Your job, and this is where the protocol comes in, is to slow everything down and give them a controlled, positive way to get to know each other. You're essentially acting as a translator between two species. Phase 1. The scent introduction. Step 1. And this is the step that most people skip entirely because it feels almost too simple. But I promise you, this is the foundation of everything that comes after. We call it the scent introduction. Here's what you're going to do. Grab 2 clean socks or 2 small cloths, something soft that can pick up a scent. Take one and gently rub it along your dog's cheeks and face. Take the other and do the same with your cat. You're not bathing them or doing anything dramatic, you're just collecting a little bit of their natural scent. Then you swap them. Put the dog-scented cloth in the area where your cat likes to hang out. Put the cat-scented cloth somewhere the dog spends time. Now here's the part that makes this actually work, and this is critical. Every time your pet sniffs that cloth, you give them a treat. Something they genuinely love. A little piece of chicken, a soft treat, whatever makes their eyes light up. You want them to sniff the new smell and immediately get rewarded for it. What you're doing is building what behaviorists call a conditioned positive response. You're teaching your cat, at a subconscious level, that this strange new smell, which is going to be all over the house soon, is actually a signal that good things happen. Over time, instead of tensing up when they catch a whiff of the dog, they'll start to feel something closer to anticipation. Maybe even excitement. Do this for several days. Don't rush past it. I know you want to get to the good stuff, but the time you spend here makes every step after this easier. Think of it as the groundwork. You're building the relationship before the relationship even starts. One thing to watch for: if your pet completely ignores the cloth and the treats, that's actually fine. It means they're curious but not alarmed. If they hiss at the cloth or refuse to eat near it, back the cloth away a little and give it more time. There's no deadline here. Phase 2. Dinner through the door. Once your pets are comfortable around each other's sense, meaning they can smell the cloth and go about their day without much reaction, it's time to move to phase 2. And this is where we bring in the most powerful motivator in an animal's life: food. Here's what the setup looks like. You're going to feed your dog and your cat their meals on opposite sides of a closed door. The dog eats on one side, the cat eats on the other. They can hear each other chewing. They can smell each other's food. They can sense that another animal is close by. But they can't see each other, and they cannot get to each other. This is important because mealtimes are the highest value moments in a pet's day. When you associate another animal's presence with the best part of the day consistently, meal after meal, you start to rewire the emotional response. Instead of "that smell means danger," it starts to mean "that smell means dinner." It's one of the most elegant things about animal behavior, honestly. You're not forcing them to like each other. You're just consistently pairing one thing with another until the association shifts on its own. Now, start with the bowls a few feet away from the door on each side. If either animal is eating calmly, great, you can inch the bowls a little closer each day. You're aiming for the point where both of them are eating right up against the door with zero hesitation, zero growling, zero pawing at the wood. When you hit that point, and only when you hit that point, you're ready for the next phase. If at any point either pet stops eating, growls, or seems anxious near the door, just back the bowls up a little. No big deal. You haven't failed. You've just learned that they need a little more time, and now you know exactly where to back up to. That's useful information. I want to pause here and acknowledge something because I hear this a lot. How long is this going to take? And I genuinely wish I had a single answer for you. Some pets move through this phase in a couple of days. Others take 2 weeks. What I can tell you is that pushing past these stages before both animals are ready almost always makes things harder in the long run. The time you spend being patient here saves you a lot of time on the back end. So trust the process. Phase 3, the first sighting. This is the moment a lot of people dread. And honestly, the anticipation is usually worse than the reality. Phase 3 is the controlled sighting, the first time your dog and cat are going to see each other. But we are not just opening the door and hoping for the best. That's how you end up back at square one. Here's how we do it. Set up a baby gate, or keep your dog on a short leash. The goal is that the dog and cat can see each other, but the dog cannot get to the cat. Before the cat is anywhere in sight, get your dog into a calm, seated position. Treats ready. Patience ready. Now let your cat come into view on their own terms, at their own pace. Don't carry the cat in. Don't push anything. Your cat needs to feel like they chose to enter this situation. If they peek around the corner and then disappear for 20 minutes, that's completely fine. Let them do it at their speed. What you're watching for on the dog's side is something we call soft eyes. It's when your dog looks at the cat, acknowledges them, and then looks away back to you, or just around the room. That calm, easy look away is gold. It tells you the dog is registering the cat as a presence, not as a target. Every time you see it, reward it. Treat, calm praise, good energy. If the dog lunges, barks aggressively, or can't settle, the session is over. You bring the dog out of the room, you let everyone decompress, and you try again later. No punishment, no frustration, just a calm reset. You're not scolding the dog for being a dog. You're teaching the dog what the right behavior looks like, and that takes repetition. Run these sessions short and positive. 5 to 10 minutes of calm interaction is worth so much more than 30 minutes of chaos. You're building a track record of good experiences. Every successful session adds another brick to the foundation. Phase 4. The supervised mingle and the vertical secret. Alright, we're at phase 4, the supervised mingle. This is where they're in the same space, no barrier between them. And before I get into the details, I want to talk about the thing I promised you at the top of the video. The one thing that most owners miss. The vertical secret. Here it is. Cats feel most vulnerable when they are trapped on the ground. When a cat has no way to get up and away from a threat, their brain immediately goes into fight or flight. That's when you get hissing, scratching, and full-blown cat attacks. But when a cat has a high perch, they can escape to a cat tree, a sturdy shelf, the top of a wardrobe, everything changes. They can observe from above. They can watch the dog without feeling cornered. They feel in control. And an animal that feels in control doesn't panic. Before you do any supervised mingle, make sure your cat has vertical escape routes throughout the home. Multiple options, ideally in every room they'll be spending time in. This is the single most impactful environmental change you can make for multi-pet harmony. I've seen households where the cat and dog were on the verge of a breakthrough, but the cat kept getting trapped in corners and everything kept falling apart. We added a cat tree and 2 floating shelves, and within a week the dynamic completely shifted. The cat started coming downstairs voluntarily. It was a complete transformation. Now, for the mingle itself. Keep the dog's leash on, but let it drag loosely on the floor. You're not holding it tight, you just want to be able to grab it quickly if things escalate. Let the animals move around the space. Watch carefully, but don't hover anxiously. Animals pick up on your energy. If you're tense, they'll be tense. Look for these positive signals. Both animals can be in the same room and focus on other things, sniffing the furniture, checking out toys, coming to you for attention. The cat chooses to stay rather than disappearing to another room. The dog can be redirected away from the cat with a word or a treat. These are all really encouraging signs. Things to watch out for. The dog fixating on the cat, that laser-focused stare that doesn't break. The cat's tail going stiff or low. Any growling or hissing that escalates rather than settles. If any of those appear, calmly separate them and call it a good session. Tomorrow you go again. The length of these sessions will naturally grow. At first you might do 10 minutes, then 15, then half an hour. Eventually you'll have days where you look up and they've been in the same room for 2 hours and nothing happened, and you'll realize you've turned a corner. Let me take a few minutes here to address some of the situations I hear about most often, because not every household looks the same and I don't want to leave you hanging if things get complicated. What if your dog has a strong prey drive? Some dogs, particularly terriers, huskies, and certain hunting breeds, have a very strong instinct to chase. This doesn't mean they can never live with a cat, but it does mean this process will take longer and you'll need to be more consistent and patient through every stage. Working with a professional trainer alongside this protocol is genuinely worth considering for high-drive dogs. There's no shame in getting expert help, it can make a real difference. What if the cat is the aggressor? This happens more often than people expect. A confident, territorial cat can actually bully a dog, especially if the dog is naturally gentle or anxious. In that case, make sure your dog also has a safe space to retreat to where the cat can't follow. Baby gates with a small door that only the dog can fit through work really well for this. What if we had a bad incident, there was a fight, or the dog scared the cat badly? Go all the way back to phase 1. Completely reset. It might feel like a massive setback, but starting over from scratch is far better than trying to push through after trust has been broken. Animals don't hold grudges the way humans do, but they do have emotional memories. Give them time to reset, and then rebuild from the beginning. Here's the thing about what we do at Evergreen Paws. We talk a lot about building bonds that last a lifetime. And when I say that, I mean it literally. The relationship your pets build in these early weeks and months, the associations they form, the trust they develop, that's going to shape their entire time together. You're not just trying to get through the next few days without a disaster. You're laying the groundwork for years of peaceful coexistence. Maybe even genuine friendship. I've gotten emails from people who followed this protocol and told me that 6 months later, their dog and cat sleep in the same bed. I've heard from people who said they were convinced it was never going to work, and then it did. Those stories never get old. What I want you to take away from today is this. There is no magic shortcut, but there is a clear path. Go slow on the scent introduction. Use food to build positive associations. Control that first visual meeting. Give your cat vertical escape options before anything else. And never rush the stages, let your animals tell you when they're ready. Some pairs are best friends in 48 hours. Others take 48 days. Both are completely valid. Both are normal. The only thing that matters is that you're following the cues your pets are giving you and responding with patience rather than pressure. If this helped you today, or if you know someone who's in the middle of a chaotic pet introduction right now, share this with them. Subscribe to Evergreen Paws if you want to keep getting this kind of practical, evidence-based advice on keeping your animals healthy, happy, and at peace with each other. And as always, stay green. We'll see you in the next one.